The following is a presentation of USA Swimming Productions. Here now are your hosts, Ariana Kukors and Jeff Cummings.
And we are at the Indiana University Natatorium, day 4 right now at the 2017 Phillips 66 National Championships. Ari, I'm still just pumped about last night.
Oh my gosh, I'm still reeling from last night.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering what all these decorations are, why we're wearing all of this, it's Hawaiian shirt night here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even want to waste any time. I want to get right into the action. We're joined by, seriously, swimming's greatest ambassador, Rowdy Gaines. Rowdy, it's always so good to chat with you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Great to be with y'all.
So we're just going to dive right into the races, and we really want to know kind of your take, your sights and sounds, what you saw, and we're going to start with the women's 400 IM from last night. Let's just take a look at part of the race here.
I hate to start with a heartbreaker, don't you?
I know.
I mean, it's a tough race to watch over again. I watched it again last night, and you know, clearly Leah Smith, who's going to be one of the busiest swimmers, you guys, in Budapest. I mean, she could end up swimming 5 individual events. You throw in a relay, it's going to be an incredible World Championships. But Ella Easton, you saw that turn there. We're going to look at it again in a second. It's, you know, it breaks your heart. We see it almost every Nationals, Olympic trials, even the Olympic Games, and you always see something like this, somebody that you've kind of been pulling for to take it to that next level, and clearly in second place, a ridiculous rule in my book, but again, a great swim for Leah. You don't want to take anything away from that.
9-second time drop, and then Ella Easton comes into the wall, and the reaction. So Leah Smith just so excited. So here's the back flip turn, or the flip
here
turn.
She is to the left. She clearly went on her back. There's no doubt about it. It's not the official's fault. She's just following what she has to do as far as the protocol of the rule. I just think the rule is really silly because there's no advantage to what she did on that initial 3 or 4 meters off the wall. It's a completely ridiculous rule. It needs to be taken off the books. I have no idea why they do it. I do have an idea. You're supposed to swim completely freestyle on 25% of the race. We've all heard that, but it's still a crazy rule, and I feel really bad for Ella. The good news about Ella is the fact that she will have the 200 IM, and I think she'll be a huge favorite to make the team in that.
And definitely a little more fired up now to prove that you know she needs to
if it was her last event, then we'd all be really heartbroken, but she's going to be ready to go.
But there's so much chaos that takes place in that 30 seconds to a minute, and you know, we're all watching. The athletes are figuring it out as they go. You know, like Beisel saw that she was third, and all of a sudden she's, you know, second and going to the team.
And you saw the reaction of all 3 women. It was like, holy smokes, because they are all in shock and completely different feelings, because Leah's in there kind of enjoying her moment, and then you know, all of a sudden Elizabeth, who's gone from, you know, complete sorrow to like complete shock, and then of course Ella, I can't imagine what she was feeling. But again, Elizabeth's on the team, which is great. Leah Smith's having a great trials. And then I really think Ella Easton's going to make it. Knock on wood, I think she's going to have
We're going to watch.
So I think it's all going to work out in the end.
I think so too. We're going to watch for Ella Easton the 200 IM tomorrow. So now let's take a look at the men's 400 IM from last night. We have a clip of that here.
Well, this is sort of, like, if you think about the men, it looks sort of like the women with 3 huge leaders out in front. But Chase Kalish, he's been the best American swimmer in the world over the last 6 or 7 months.
What do you think of that time for Chase
Unbelievable.
right now? Great time.
406 plus to be able to do that at the Nationals. And remember, he went 409 last summer and then went 406 at the Olympic Games a month later. So I think he's got a huge drop in him and a great swim for Jay Lilliland to also put himself on the team. And how about the Bulldogs? I mean, going 1, 2, 3, Gunner Bentz having a great swim too. It's just kind of tough leaving another one out. But that's the case when you have 3 great swims, and we see it right and left across the board with so many Americans. Third place, Gunner Bentz could be in the final with that 411 when we got to Budapest, but he won't go.
That really is the story in a lot of cases. So let's take a look now at the women's 100 butterfly from last night.
Kelsey Worrell, just start to finish, dominant.
Yeah, you know, you're right, Jeff, because I think she's ready to take that next step. I think she's learned a lot about swimming long course. Obviously, the last 2 years, 15 and 16, have helped a lot. And having that Olympic experience, I think, really gave her a lot of confidence. And she was in complete command all the way, like you said, Jeff. Good time, solid time. She's going to be faster, I think. But the big thrill for me was Sarah Gibson, and there's the hug right there, wasn't it? So close in the 200 fly, and I just felt so good for her. I had a chance to congratulate Steve Boltman, and he felt like she was going to have a good 100 butterfly, and 1/100th of a second, and it was over Mallory Comerford, who's already on the team. So it was kind of a good news, good feel 100 butterfly there.
All right, men's 100 butterfly. Look at this. 4 guys had a shot at this, and you just really didn't know until that last stroke.
And watch right here. There's 15 meters. Caleb Dressel, who was in that top yellow lane line, he was 4th with 15 meters left to go. And then watch these 3 strokes here. Unbelievable what he did the last 3 strokes. I was just amazed. I thought he was going to get 3rd or 4th. Obviously, he proved everybody wrong there. He's another guy that's going to be so busy. 50 fly, 100 fly, 100 free, 50 free, 3 relays. You add it up, that's a lot of events.
Many and we talked to him last night, and he said, like these last 4 years, I've really used this to build and to learn as much as I can so that he can be poised to have a meet like this, especially going into Worlds. He has so much international experience under his belt now.
Yeah, and Greg Troy's done a great job with him and that entire team. And I think again, Caleb is a guy that you said it, Ari. He knows how to swim long course now, and that's a tough transition going from short course yards to long course, and he's done a great job at it.
Yeah, really
that's awesome. Let's go to our women's 50 breast, our first American record of the meet by none other than the queen of breaststroke now, Lily King.
Yeah, she looked great. I mean, I think she's ready to take that next step too. When I say next step, I think, and I would never want to jinx her, but I think a world record is definitely in her sights. And I talked to her after the race, and I asked her how she felt. She goes, it was okay. She's just got that great carefree spirit. Again, very dominating. She's going to get close to that world record when we get to Budapest, and I think she definitely has that world record in sights in the 100 breaststroke. Think about where she's at. The 100, the 50, the 200, and now the 100. It's a great marriage for her. And the men's 50 breaststroke, it's another guy, right, guys?
Kevin Cordes dominating once again.
He's been so consistent. I think he's been the most consistent American breaststroker over the last 4 years. A lot of guys have tried to come up and stepped up and try to take that mantle, but you can't deny the consistency that Kevin has had.
And he's really having a great meet. The problem is he's sometimes have trouble going into that international meet off a quick turnaround, so I hope he's able to do that here.
But I think he will, because again, every time you have that experience on learning what to do on an international side, it helps so much. You guys have both been through it, so you know what it means to keep going and finally say, you know what, I'm figuring this stuff out.
And the athletes learn so much during this time. I mean, after this, they'll have about a week to go home and prepare for World Championships before they go to training camp. And I think that time they all learn, like, okay, what do I need? Do I need to, hit it hard in the weight room? Like, what kind of things do I need to adjust?
That's a great point. And he's already done that from last summer.
So he knows.
As many athletes have. The ones that you probably worry about are the Mallory Comerfords and the new faces. But again, I think that's what's so great about USA Swimming, this cocoon around the athletes that have helped them so much, and then go to the next level.
Yeah, it's so true.
So speaking of, we had veterans in the 50 breaststroke winning. We had 2 new faces taking the women's and men's 50 back. We're going to start with the women's 50 backstroke. Pretty much everybody assumed it was going to be Kathleen Baker, the sprint backstroke queen. But out there in lane number 5, I mean, that was just so exciting to see Hannah Stevens from Missouri just get her hand on the wall first, and this is going to be her first major senior meet.
And I think that's what USA Swimming needs. I mean, I think I saw a tweet by Tom Shields the other day. It was a classy tweet saying, after he didn't make the 200 fly and had those 2 guys make it.
I love that.
It was just such a great reaction. It's just that youthful exuberance, and I was so happy for her, Coach Greg Rodenbaugh, who's done such a great job there at that program. And this is the new face. These are the new faces that we're going to see over the next 3 years. I guarantee you, she won't be the only one.
And then another new fresh face, Justin Ress, in lane number 3, third from the closest to us, taking down Ryan Murphy and Matt Grievers.
The 2 defending Olympic champions in the 100 backstroke, and this 19-year-old kid could care less. Look at him, and he really won it in a dominant fashion in a 50. And look at this excitement. Just sit back and enjoy this.
And I think he's going to have a great 100 back tonight because of that.
Yeah, he is. And again, I just love to see it, man. I love that thrill of that first time big win, and to take it to the next step, and to know that you're going to the World Championships. It's a pretty cool
It really
feeling, isn't it?
I love just the purity of that moment where it's just so much excitement, seeing that one next to your name, and it's kind of that moment where it's like, that's what I've been working for, and here it is, I got it. So
there's a reason why USA Swimming's been #1 for 61 straight years, and that's it right there. The ability to load and reload, our great club system, our great coaches, so many different coaches putting so many different kids on the team. If you look across the board, there's a lot of different coaches out there now. So we've got a great system, and proud of the American swimmers here.
Exactly, and even in that shot, you see Matt Grievers, going over the lane line to give him a handshake and tell him congratulations. That really is, like, it's USA Swimming. It's the camaraderie around it.
And I will say, there won't be anybody in the house tonight that will not be rooting for Matt Grievers.
Absolutely.
It's the truth.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everybody in this whole building will be cheering for Matt.
Yeah. So speaking of that men's 100 back, let's run down some what we're going to be seeing tonight. We got the women's and men's 400 freestyle. We got the women's and men's 100 breaststroke. And then we'll finish it up with the women's and men's 100 backstroke. So Rowdy, since we got you here, what's your can't miss race of the night?
Well, I have to go to the men's 100 back, just because you've got this feeling of what Matt has represented to the sport for so many years. He came out of retirement after last summer, and 32, 33 years old. And I think USA Swimming and I think this American team needs Matt Grievers. They need a Matt Grievers, for his leadership, his gentle, giant humility, humble leadership that so many people crave.
Yeah.
And so that's the one. You never want to. How do we not want to see Katie Ledecky? Obviously, and what she can do. But every time she swims in a race. But my race tonight, it has to be the men's 100 back.
Yeah, we'll be looking for that.
What about you, Ari? What's your can't miss race?
I'm obviously looking at that men's 100 backstroke, but I'm really curious too in the women's 400 freestyle. And here's why: you can't not watch Katie Ledecky and see what she can do. I want to see what Leah Smith does.
Yep.
I think that
4:05 this morning.
4:05. She's swimming so confidently. She has a lot of experience. And last year, she was really challenging Katie in some ways. And so I want to see her get right up there with her and give her a run for her money.
And I think it will happen. I think Leah now has that confidence, especially after that 400 IM.
Yeah. So too. What about
you?
Yeah, what do you got?
For me, I'm a 100 breaststroker. I'm looking for that men's 100
I knew that was
breaststroke.
going to come in there.
Kevin Cordes, Cody Miller, Nick Fink. Those three guys I think are going to be in the hunt here. It's going to be amazing to see what's going to happen with those three guys.
Andrew Wilson. There's a bunch of guys in there that could make it, right?
And the way Kevin swam this morning, I think he wants to get his American record back that Cody Miller stole from him at the Olympics.
Yeah, 59-1, not bad. Not a bad start in the morning.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
All right, well, we have so much to go through tonight, Rowdy. It's always good sitting down, catching up with you.
I've been watching you every day. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thanks, Rowdy. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
All right, so we had a lot of surprises in the pool last night, but one of the big surprises out of the pool was seeing Olympic gold medalist Missy Franklin signing autographs, and the crowd just loved her. And Ari got a chance to meet up with her and talk about what she's been up to and what her thoughts about being here in Indy.
I'm joined now by none other than Missy Franklin. Now, Missy, I've known you since you burst onto the scene. You're someone who's so special to me. Every time I see you, you just brighten my day. And you're back on a pool deck right now. How does it feel to be here?
It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so special. I love that I get to be here and see people who I so rarely get to see, especially this year when I haven't been competing. So it's amazing, but also really emotional being at a meet and not competing at it. Very weird.
Yeah, what has that been like? First of all, what has the last year been like for you?
Last year has been very different than what I could have ever expected. I knew there was going to be a lot of change regardless, but then add in a couple surgeries, a couple moving, it's just like, it's crazy.
Little things, not big life-changing things or anything. Surgeries, changing your life.
Little bumps in the road, but it's great. And it's taught me so much about just going with whatever it is that life hands you and making the best out of all those situations. So I've been so blessed to have the most incredible people have been put into my life, and the support system that I have is amazing. So having all these bumps in the road has been so much easier knowing that I have the support that I do.
I love it. Okay, it's so important to have those people around you. Now, you're that person to a lot of different people who are here at this meet and competing. What's it like to watch your friends competing and making these teams and just being able to support them?
It means the world to me. Trials meets are always so tough, because they are like the biggest emotional roller coaster ever, because you're watching your friends either make and like achieve their greatest dreams or fail and not make them. And so it's just this crazy roller coaster, being so excited for one of your best friends and then being brokenhearted for another one. So, but to be here, and I think just to be through that, everyone has such a great respect for each other because we all know exactly what that feels like. So we're able to be there for one another.
I love it. Well, so good to see you. We're rooting for you so hard for your recovery.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was so good to be able to see her and catch up with her. She looked happy. She looked vibrant. You know, fans walking around the pool deck. People were really happy to see Missy Franklin. It was great to see.
Of course they are. She's one of the great ambassadors of the sport. Speaking of ambassadors for the sport, USA Swimming has created this exciting partnership with the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority to help reduce drowning rates and increase swim participation in the African American community. And that partnership, called Swim 1992, has resulted in more than 2,000 swim lessons created across the country. And joining us now is Deborah Catching-Smith, the international president of Sigma Gamma Rho. Deborah, it's so great to have you here.
It's great to be here with you this afternoon.
So I mentioned more than 2,000 lessons through this partnership, but you didn't need to be a part of those lessons. You're a lifelong swimmer. You learned how to swim when you were younger.
Yes, my parents did not know how to swim, and so they were diligent about ensuring that I learned how to swim. So I started taking swimming lessons when I was 6 years old.
Very, very nice. That's very helpful for you. But you also were able to go to those lessons and see how this partnership has been working. What's it been like to see these little boys and girls being there, getting their faces wet, blowing those bubbles and taking those first strokes?
It is so heartwarming to see the excitement because all children love water. Yeah. And so just to be able to give them that additional confidence, and for those who have never taken a swimming lesson, to see them get in the water. And as a byproduct of that, we are actually impacting families because now we have the parents and the grandparents coming to the lessons with them who don't know how to swim, and then they think, you know, I think I'd like to learn how to swim. Sure. And so they're involved and engaged as well.
I love this. So this is really a groundbreaking partnership in the Olympic movement. And, you know, what led you to this kind of work? Like, what was your passion around doing this? And can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. Our passion is coming from service. So Sigma Gamma Rho was founded in 1922 on the campus of Butler University, November 12th. To be exact. Wow. And so we have always been focused on impacting our communities in a positive way. How can we be the change makers or help provide resources and tools to our communities? And so with the swimming emphasis, we felt that this was an area that required attention. We know that 70% of African Americans at the time we entered into this unique partnership did not know how to swim. Yeah. We are happy to report we're down to 64% now. So over the last 5 years with our dynamic partnership, we have the demonstration that, you know, our program is actually effective. The Swim 1922 is making a difference.
That's absolutely wonderful. And this partnership is growing. You guys are now the presenting sponsor of the FINA Junior World Championships. So Sigma Gamma Rho is going to be plastered everywhere around the Indiana University Natatorium. That's got to give you goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps.
It does. Yes, we are so excited. Our entire membership just cannot wait to see this come to fruition next month when we all return here to Indianapolis, and we can be a part of, again, an historic groundbreaking activity in our partnership with USA Swimming.
You know how I know that, you know, this is for real? When you got an Olympian as your spokesperson. Maritza Correa McClendon has been going around the country doing these swim clinics for you. Tell us what it's been like to have her as part of this partnership.
To hear Maritza's story and to hear her share it with the wider community has just been awesome. Yeah. She is genuinely changing lives and telling her story how she started off because of a health condition getting in the water and how it morphed into being a greater person, becoming a phenomenal athlete, and then being able to give her a platform to make a difference in our communities. So it's been awesome.
What's it been like for you and even in the Sigma Gamma Rho community, seeing people like Simone Manuel make these big steps forward in swimming?
It has been awesome to see, again, wider doors opening for African Americans to even consider the role of swimming and having that as a part of their athletic desires, and to see role models that look like them, people who look like them, and how they can aspire to that greatness as well.
I love it. Well, your work is so amazing. We're so appreciative of the hard work that you do, and thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
Thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure. We look forward to coming back next month.
Yes, we will be back next month. All right, we'll be right back after this brief little break. We have Frank Bush, National Team Director, coming up after this, so don't go away.
We're on the top today with Gunner Bentz to find out a little bit more about the 2016 Olympic gold medalist. Gunner, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, so On the top, I want you to name 3 people that you would invite to a dinner party, living or dead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the first, probably Elon Musk. You know him?
Yep.
He's like the closest thing to like Batman in real life. He's crazy and he's like rich and pretty funny.
Yeah.
So he's cool.
Okay. Number 2?
Jim Carrey, but not regular Jim Carrey, like Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura, because that's like the funniest movie.
Well, that's out there, Jim Carrey. I don't think you guys would ever get anything going. You'd just be laughing so much.
That's kind of the point. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, last person.
And then probably Samuel L. Jackson, because he's from Atlanta and he's a big dog fan and he's hilarious too. So I think that'd be a pretty funny dinner party.
Yeah, I don't know where the topics would go with that.
I don't either. But that guy's nuts. He actually tweeted at the girls swim team when they won NCs a few years ago, and like he's hilarious.
I think you guys got to try to get him to come one of your swim meets. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I might tweet at him. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, maybe when SECs is in Athens, or maybe if you guys get NCAAs one of these years.
A couple of years.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Samuel L. Jackson, if you're watching, you got to come. Got to come to one of those meets. All right, last question. Okay, so we got Elon Musk, Jim Carrey, and Samuel L. Jackson coming to your dinner party. Yeah. What are you making for them?
Ooh, probably steak. Those guys seem like steak guys. Yeah.
All right, so you're a Georgia boy. I'm surprised no real Southern food like fried chicken, pecan pie, nothing like that.
Well, we'll do some collards as the sides and some mashed potatoes.
All right, that sounds delicious. I wish I could be there. All right, Gunner, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
I love your dinner party. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
All right.
And we're back at the Indiana University Natatorium for the 2017 Phillips 66 National Championships. And again, it's Deck Pass Live, powered by Xfinity. And joining us at the Deck Pass Live desk, none other than Frank Bush, the National Team Director for USA Swimming. Frank, always a pleasure to see you.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice to be here.
So it's no secret you're retiring from this job in August after, 6 years? And I mean, everybody I hear from is like, Frank, just can't leave. You can't leave, Frank. I mean, it's bittersweet, obviously.
Leave us.
But obviously, this is likely going to be your last national. So what's it been like being here on deck?
Well, first of all, let's make sure that I'm not sure we're talking to the same people.
Let's get some names.
It's bittersweet. I've been involved in this sport now for 50 years as a coach, and so obviously not at this level that whole time, and I'm not 80. But the coaches and the athletes that I've known for such a long time, and people like yourselves, this is a very special. I talked to the officials a couple of nights ago, and I just said this is some very unique things about our sport and the people that are in it.
It's very true. So, Frank, I know because I've swam on teams that you've been a part of, and you really go out of your way to motivate the athletes. You bring in speakers. One of my favorite things from last summer in Rio was when you brought the whole USA team out and you had them sing the national anthem. Things like that to really bring up the energy. But what have some athletes done that motivate you? What have you gotten? What are you taking away as you're closing this chapter?
When you see 4 people on the top of a podium and they're holding up their medals and their smile is bigger than anything you've ever seen before, that's the greatest feeling I've ever had. So it's if you walk into my office at USA Swimming, you'll see 6 big pictures you'll see 8 pictures of relays, and the smiles on their face greet me every morning when I turn the light on. So really, it's the accomplishment and did we really just do that as a group? And that's what sets a culture, I think, for USA Swimming that starts at a young age, with the way we put our teams together, with whether it's collegiate or high school, they learn what team is, and when you see that come through at the highest level, it's the best. There's no better feeling.
Absolutely. So I know you're going to be coming back to Tucson. We'll probably bump into each other somewhere riding along Speedway or something like that. What's the plan when you and Patty get back?
Well, first of all, we need to sell a house. We're going to build a house in Tucson, and I'm sure that in some way, shape, or form. I'll still stay in touch with the sport since I have 2 sons that coach it.
Yeah.
But there's a gentleman that's been so supportive of me over the years who has a foundation there, and this sport in my life has been so blessed. I want to give back, so I want to be involved in his foundation. But equally as important, if not more, is that I want to spend more time with my children and my grandchildren. And since they all went to high school in Tucson and college at the U of A, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to see grandkids because they'll come back for reunions and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I love it.
Yeah, I would imagine they want to come back to Arizona at Christmas and maybe not Colorado Springs at Christmas.
I hope so.
Now, if you hadn't spent a life in swimming, what do you think you would have been doing?
That's a good question, because there was a time when I finished, before I was given the job at Arizona, I was just about ready to get out of coaching because I had 5 children and the amount of money I was making at the former school wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And so I was getting ready to get back into real estate development, which was not where my heart was.
Mm-hmm.
But you think of your family first, and so I have no idea, but I probably wouldn't be sitting here.
Yep. What do you hope, as this chapter is coming to a close, that you get out of this last month with this USA team? What do you hope you get, but also what do you hope to give this team as you part ways?
I want to give them a great experience, because these are young people that this is a lifetime of achievement.
Yep.
And it's our job at USA Swimming to make sure that we do everything in our power to give them the best opportunity to be successful. And I think has been our mantra for a long time, but it's particularly been our mantra for the last 6 years. And I want what's most important is that being the dominant country in the sport of swimming, you have a target on your back. Right. And I think we know how to handle a target on our back, yeah. But how do we make sure that the culture that we move forward toward 2020 is the culture that brings continued success? So that's the discussion topic all the time, yep. In what we do.
I love it. Well, Frank, always good to chat with you. Thank you so much for everything. You've been influential, I know, in my career. I'm assuming yours as well, Jeff. So thank you
very
so much.
The sport has given me so much. It's all I can do to just give something back.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll be right back on the pool deck after this brief commercial.
Swimming is fun for me because it allows me to see and hang out with my best friends every day, and also get that satisfying feeling of knowing that we're all putting in the work together.
I've got a great group of guys that I swim with, and I look forward to seeing the guys and laughing around with them and screaming across the pool at each other, stuff like that. That's the fun part for me, and that's kind of why I love coming into the water every single day.
All right. So we talked about this earlier. It's Hawaiian night. Yeah. That's why our set is all decked up. And of course, we have some great giveaways to everybody coming to the meet tonight. So they're not going to want to miss that. Of course, we have the Thunder Sticks.
Woo-hoo,
We're getting good at that. So we have that, and we also have the Phillips 66 gas card. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are amazing.
I would love to have one of these. I mean, I think this would be a perfect thing for everybody to have. Yeah.
All right, so if you're in the area, if you're anywhere close, like drive, you better get here tonight. There's so much fast swimming taking place. But also, from 4 to 6 p.m., we've got some good autograph signings tonight. So take a look at this. We have Chase Kalish, Haley Flickener, and Madison Cox. They're going to be signing autographs upstairs here. So if you're around, take some selfies. We want to see what you guys are up to, who you're talking to, what you're seeing. Yeah,
use the hashtag DexPassLive, and we'll definitely be able to see that, and of course, at USA Swimming.
Yep.
And so this is going to be a great night of racing.
It's going to be a great night. Be sure to watch Ted and Rowdy on Universal HD from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. That's on Universal HD. Be sure to check that out. You don't want to miss it.
And then, of course, as soon as that's over, go to usaswimming.org. Ari and I will be back here for Deck Pass Live. We've already got our guests lined up. Who's it going to be?
We got Tim Phillips in the building coming in tonight. And, I mean, last night we started grabbing people off the pool deck, so you never know who we're going to have.
Yeah, we might have a lot more than just him.
Yeah, so be sure to come back. The action is going to be packed behind us here. I mean, they're still doing some stuff. That's why we're getting golf voices down. But be sure to come back tonight for Deck Pass Live. We'll see you then.
Bye.